Good afternoon. Good to have everybody here today. From what I've been told, PJ surgery this morning went well. I guess he informed everybody via social media, so it was nice that he let everybody know that. Good to have the team back at practice today. He did just about everything, so even though we're not going to put out an injury report today, we feel pretty good about the direction that's heading. Questions?
How'd the offensive line look as a whole in practice today with the team back there?
I don't know if it looked better because it's the second day we're practicing, or because you naturally think your starting center's in there that we look better. But I thought we looked pretty good yesterday. But the team's a good football player. He's played a lot of football. He's played in a lot of these kind of competitive games. So we certainly want him out there.
Your confidence level in the running game to be able to run against this defensive line?
I love the plan. Yeah, I like the plan. I like our players. I've got a lot of confidence. For us to be successful on offense, we need to continue to do what Ralph has been doing, which is taking advantage of what the defenses are giving us. And when people are going to try and play back with their safeties, then we need to be patient in running the football like we were in Navy. And when people are going to load the box and really screw the safeties into the box, we need to be able to expose it with the passing game like we did against Michigan. So, I'm confident in our plan. I like our plan, but at the same time, I want to make sure that we're being smart offensively, and I know Ralph wants the same.
Do you want to feed Justin or Desmond the ball? Like, depending on the game, would you rather see one of those two guys get the majority of carries, or do you like the split? Or
I don't think about that going into the game. Now, if you get in a game and you feel like a guy's getting hot, then I would give him a little bit more. That hasn't been the case yet. I think both guys have run effectively, but it has not gotten to the point in any game where they've been playing together where I've said, hey, let's go 2-1 with the series. We've essentially been going alternating series with those guys, and that's the plan going in the game.
Well, it seems like they've tightened up their run defense considerably the last 3 games. What do you attribute it to? What have you seen on film?
They're getting better as the season goes on. I think their players are getting better, and teams that get an opportunity to play for championships at the end of the year, they improve as the season goes on. They've got a new guy on their staff in Chris Ash, so I'm sure some of the concepts and the techniques that he's implemented with them that they're getting more familiar with as the season goes on, and that certainly you have to attribute some of it to that for sure.
Talking about Coach Ash, I mean, when you watch them, I mean, understanding that you plan for the scheme and you play the player, but do you see some of Arkansas in what they're doing defensively, or is it completely different?
No, it's not completely different. You definitely see some similarities to what they did at Arkansas if you go back and look at it. There are some things that you don't find in the Arkansas film that you will find in this film, so you got to be ready for both.
Roughly, how often do they huddle, and just the fact that they don't seem to huddle a lot, does that affect how much you're able to rotate guys?
I think it depends on who they're playing and what their game plan is. That's probably a better question for them. I've worked in the no huddle for quite a few years. 8 years of my career I worked in the no huddle, and really it wasn't even so much about how much you huddle, it's really the pace you want to play at. Because it's a little bit of a misnomer. People think you say no huddle and it's all hurry up, and that's really not the case. Quite a bit of the time when you're in no huddle, you're trying to get the defense to line up so you can get the play called that you want to get called, and they do quite a bit of that. So I'm not really concerned how much they huddle. I think the pace of play and being able to adjust to their second call is going to be really critical in the game.
Urban visited the program in 2011, I think, April 2011. Did you get anything out of that, his message to the team, to the program that day?
Oh, I thought he's an excellent speaker. He gave a great presentation to the New Jersey high school coaches, and it was good to have him on campus. Like I said earlier in the week, I think he talked a little bit with us about his empty package that he had used down in Florida. Offensively, it was probably a good topic for us because what they did philosophically really wasn't what we were doing at the time. But no, he's a sharp football coach, and obviously somebody who knows how to run a program as well, although that wasn't the topic that day.
He has his reputation. I know with players we talk about if you're going against a guy who, Bosa per se, like it's a bigger matchup. When you go against a coach who has a reputation like that, does that enter your mind at all? Like, I have to match wits with Urban Meyer this week?
Not particularly. No, I want to make sure that I'm putting our team in the best situation to win, and Coach Myers probably is certainly doing the same thing for his team.
Kyle, is there any way to compare the synergy of the staff this year to the first two? Different feel?
It's always different because the personalities are different. 2 of the 3 years, we've had an offensive coordinator who had been a head coach in major college football. I think that adds a different dynamic to the room. Somebody who's been charged with running a program has probably a different management style than somebody who's been a coordinator their entire career. But I wouldn't compare them. I've liked them all 3 years. I don't have an issue with the chemistry. I think this staff has excellent chemistry. And as the season goes on, just like the players get better, I think the coaches get better at working with each other and understanding what we're looking for. And as a position coach on offense, those guys are doing a good job, I think, of understanding what Ralph's looking for.
From a passing game standpoint, Ohio State seems they don't really have one or two guys in particular that's a main target. They seem to spread their targets around. How do you guys kind of prepare for that type of scheme?
It's one of the challenges of defending them. They make you defend the entire width and depth of the field. I think the 6 wide receivers have significant statistics, two tight ends, 3 running backs, and then you got the quarterback you got to deal with. So you have to be sound in every area. It's not you generally use the expression assignment football when you're dealing with an option team, but it's critical that you defend every weapon on the field because the quarterback does a nice job of spreading it around.
Do you, not that you would necessarily bring it up to them, but do you get the impression that the guys, and they don't have blinders on, are insulted by that point spread, or think it's excessive, or they feel disrespected by it, or anything of that nature?
Oh, I don't know. I don't bring it up. I don't.
But they must know.
You'd have to ask them. I don't know. I don't. To me, when you get to this level of football, the idea is you want to be a championship football team, and to do that, you have to win your conference games. So if you need any motivation above and beyond, like that question almost speaks to, are you more motivated to play this game than another conference game? And to me, I'm not, because every one of them counts the same. And so for me, the only motivation I need as the head football coach is an opportunity to be 1-0 in the Big Ten Eastern Division. I don't need any more motivation than that. So to me, the people who decide those numbers, I don't have any control over it, so I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. And I know it doesn't have any impact on the game. Thanks, Scott. Thank you.